out of the water at the 900-meter mark, so they will come back into the harbor. They're going to do around that buoy, then come back into that little entrance that you can see into the harbor, come up onto the dock at 900 meters, dive back in, and then do a smaller 600-meter loop. So we've still got a lot of swim, but you can see that chop out there.
It shows that perfectly, doesn't it? It is a little bit choppy out there, so not straightforward in the water at all, which probably the stronger swimmers will be grateful for. Added little advantage over the lesser swimmers in the field.
And the no wetsuit as well. That certainly plays into Ruchier's hands, plays into Summer Cook's hands as well. So it'll be an opportunity. Be curious to see where Andrea Hewitt is. She's a great swimmer traditionally, so very likely sitting in that 5th, 6th, 7th group of athletes that are back by about 10 seconds.
Andrea turns 35 next month, Barry.
Hard to believe. I remember when she won the Under-23 championship in Gamagori in 2005. I think it was her first major race, and she won a world title for New Zealand and really has been their go-to woman for, a dozen years. And she looks as hungry and motivated as I've seen her. So it's great news to have Andrea Hewitt, one of the most established women on the circuit, back racing for another, hopefully, 4 years.
Well, she certainly has something to aim at, other than obviously the WTS, the Commonwealth Games in Australia in about 18 months' time. So pretty close to home for the Kiwi.
Well, that Commonwealth Games will be second, to the Olympic Games in terms of competitiveness when you add in the South Africas with the Great Britons, with the Canadas, with the Australians and New Zealands, and go down the list. Incredibly difficult. I saw the British just came out with their federation guidelines on how to select their Commonwealth Games team. So already, hard to believe, Olympics just ended, and athletes now are already having to look at criteria how to make Games teams for the next 4 years.
And we're nearing the point of the overall distance of the swim. Already there's a decent amount of separation, and the usual suspects up front. Summer Cook, number 14, just on the right-hand side of your screen there.
And Cook has gone ahead of Ruchier.
Yeah.
And we've seen her come out of the water in the lead. I mean, when you take a look, traditionally, there's going to be some long arms that can really move some water. You can just reach out there, and 2 or 3 of that lead group of 4 women have that very sort of customized, nice long lever, and when it comes through the water, they're just able to move a lot more water.
Should also tell you that the prize money's gone up this year. Bonus pool's up by $100,000, so that's now around $855,000, and total prize money for the whole series, $2.5 million. And every WTS event is $18,000 for the winner. It's absolutely standard, men and women. $30,000 on offer for the grand final, which will be in Rotterdam in the middle of September.
This is something that triathlon has won awards and certainly, been acknowledged around the world for absolute equality for men and women. And that dates way back to 1989 at the very first ever World Championship in France. And it's something that the ITU Executive Board really should be proud of, because they have given equality from the very, very beginning. Even in the days when there weren't as many women racing as there were elite men, they said equality. They're going to race on the same course at the same weekend for the same prize money. They have television, and I know there are other sports out there that if they look in the mirror, they know that their women don't get the same opportunity for prize money, and it's something that triathlon has really taken great pride in right from the beginning.
Well, it took Wimbledon a long time to come into line, didn't it? So just past the halfway point.
I just saw Katie Zavaris just catching on to the feet there. So we have 1 Spanish athlete, 2 U.S. athletes, and 1 Russian in that lead group of 4. But there isn't really that massive a gap back to the next group of 5 or 6 athletes. And there's the spectators wandering right along the seawall there. So they're getting great views as the athletes are coming back in towards doing their little turn.
Obviously, we don't know who's in that kind of pack, 5th to kind of 12th. But if the likes of Hewitt, Stimpson, maybe Ueda and Sarah True, they won't be overly concerned with the gap at the moment. No. They don't want it to get too big, though.
No, and this is a course that if you could get a few people away on, I think it might be a breakaway kind of course. There's a lot of 180s, some descents. So they're making that hard right-hand turn. They'll come back up onto the pontoon. There you can see they literally will go between that orange buoy and the white buoy onto the pontoon. And they've got maybe about a 20-meter gap that they have to run on the cement, dive back in, and then do their second smaller loop. So there's that group of 4 as they're coming back toward shore. And it's, if anything, getting slightly larger. They're certainly not losing any time.
So just gone 11 minutes as they come out the water shortly for the first time. And at least we'll then get official timings as to what the gap is and see exactly